Hello, this is yours truly, Charles Prosper, your consistency success coach. And let me ask you a question. Which would you rather be? Very talented or super consistent? What if I told you that consistency trumps talent every time? See, the whole thing about talent and even high IQ, as my mother said, high IQ only shows the potential of a person, of what they could do. It is no predictor of what a person will do. So having talent or having an IQ is no guarantee of success, because there are very talented and high IQ level people walking around who are totally unsuccessful. The key, again, is consistency. Between the two, very talented and super consistent, consistency will win every time. And that is what this installment is about. Consistency trumps talent every time. Here we go. Hello, my friend. This is one of my favorite topics: consistency versus talent. You know, a lot of people believe that they need to be super talented to be successful. And there are other people who believe that they need to have more knowledge, more degrees in order to be successful. Well, as my mother, may she rest in peace, told me, that potential ability is what talent is. It shows what a person could do, but talent is no predictor of what a person will do. Additionally, getting more knowledge is no guarantee of success either, more degrees, because a PhD is no guarantee of success than a person who has not finished high school yet became a multi-millionaire. In fact, we all know what PhD means, right? Piled, high, and deep. Well, okay, I digress. But even if you look at getting degrees and getting more knowledge, when I was teaching Spanish in the high schools, a student of mine once asked me, "Mr. Prosper, what's the difference between knowledge and wisdom?" And I answered, that's very simple. Knowledge is like a vehicle, like a car of some sort. And wisdom is the driver, is the person that can manage and control the car, which is the knowledge. So that knowledge in and of itself doesn't mean that a person is going to be successful unless the person has the wisdom of knowing how to use that knowledge. And a person is wise when they understand that knowledge has to be managed consistently if that knowledge is used to achieve a particular goal. So that's what this installment is about. The title, quite aptly, is Consistency Will Trump Talent Every Time. So far, we have established that success is a gold coin with consistency on one side and persistence on the other. I would like to start out this installment with one of my favorite quotes from Calvin Coolidge, the 30th President of the United States. And the quote goes as this: "Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than the unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. Now, let me give you the revised, prosper version of President Coolidge's quote. Here we go. Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence and consistency. Talent will not. Nothing more is common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a problem. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and consistency alone are omnipotent. Would you rather be very talented or very consistent? You see, talent is the potential to do, while consistency is the action of doing. The universe rewards action. The universe does not reward potential action. Unless talent is utilized and utilized consistently, it is like a bicycle that sits in the corner of a room that is never taken out for a spin. Genius is only interesting when small glimpses are seen and not used to change lives and make the world a better place. Higher education and advanced degrees are no guarantee of success. In fact, education for some can be a barrier to successfully taking action. Let me explain what I mean by this. I remember an acquaintance a long time ago who told me that she wanted to start her own business. At the time, she had graduated from high school and was making her choice of college. She told me that since she was interested in her own business, that it probably would be best to major in business administration in college. I mentioned that even though this major would be helpful, if she truly wanted to start her own business, she could actually start on that immediately and learn as she went along the way. So she got her BS in business administration for 4 years. Yet, she still had not taken any steps towards starting any business idea. She says, I think that to really become successful, I need to get my master's in business administration. 2 years later, she had an MBA. Now what, I asked her? Well, if I study for my doctorate, I could teach on the university level, and with all of that knowledge and information, I could maybe start my business and, well, we kind of can imagine how the story goes. In the case of this lady, getting more education allowed her to mask her fear of starting and taking the leap of faith. As long as she could convince herself that she didn't have enough education, she could convince herself to believe that she was not ready to start. She was stuck in the perpetual state of getting ready rather than getting started. The tortoise and the hare. At this point, I would like to use the classic Aesop's fable, children's tale of the tortoise and the hare, to illustrate the power of persistence and consistency over ability and talent. This is how the tale goes. There was once an incredibly speedy hare who always bragged about how fast he could run to a tortoise called Slow and Steady. Slow and Steady became tired of hearing him boast, so he challenged him to a race. All the animals laughed at the idea of the tortoise challenging the hare. They arrived the day and they all gathered in the forest to watch. Hare ran down the road with lightning speed from the opening shot of the gun. Then, after a short while, he paused on the side of a tree to rest. He turned around and looked back at Slow and Steady, who was still far behind, and laughed out. "Ha! How do you expect to beat me in this race when you're walking along at such a slow pace?" Hare stretched himself out against the tree and decided to take a nap. He thought, there's plenty of time to rest and relax. Slow and Steady walked and walked. Relentlessly, he pressed on, step by step. While Hare was sleeping, Slow and Steady continued until he could see the finish line. Slow and Steady continued. He never, ever stopped. Finally, he came to the finish line. The cheers of the animals were so loud that the noise and excitement suddenly woke up Hare. Startled and realizing that Tortoise was winning the race, Hare made a last-minute dash to catch up to win. But it was too late. Tortoise was already over the finish line. Slow and Steady had won the race. Consistency trumps talent every time. Simple things consistently done surpasses talent alone. You see, innate talent or ability on the surface might appear to be the guaranteed advantage for success. But as we saw in the Aesop fable of the tortoise and the hare, the continuous one step after the other progression is a far superior strategy. If I could take a fire hose and point 150 pounds per square inch of water pressure against a mountainside for 3 hours or for an entire day, very little perceptible difference would be noticed. However, if tiny drops from a water source were to fall on the same mountain day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, century after century, eventually that mountainside would crack and then split in two. You see, consistency with enough time and patience are the only requirements. It matters little how simple the action may be. What matters more is how consistently the simple action is done. Okay, now you can see that talent is not the key or the secret to success necessarily, nor is a high IQ the secret to success necessarily. Because, as we all know, there are a lot of very talented and high IQ people walking around who are totally unfulfilled and unsuccessful. And lack of consistency, purpose, and dedication is the key ingredient in these cases that's missing. All right. And before we go, I would like to invite you to my community of consistent-minded individuals at the Prosper Success Consistency membership site, where you will be part of a community of members who help each other stay consistent and stay focused on whatever your goal happens to be. You will have access to accountability partners who will be assigned, who are members just like yourself, who will be assigned to you
to help you stay focused and stay on track is you will be assigned to someone else to help them stay focused and stay on track with their particular goal. Additionally, there will be live coaching calls that you can participate in to get answers to problems and obstacles that you may be facing at present on the path of remaining consistent to achieve your goal. I would invite you then to go right now to www.consistencysuccesscoach.com, and you will be glad that you did. Also, may I say that I put out daily consistent content on the subject of consistency, such that I don't want you to miss out on any installments. So, I invite you to now like and subscribe so that you will be privy to all of the new installments as they come out. So, in conclusion, as I always like to say to you, stay consistent and be successful.